Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's reads. For the main part of the reads, I'm using the Star Tarot by Kathy McLeland. Here's the front of the box. And in case you want to see the spelling for Kathy McLeland, there's the spelling. There's the website. There's also a website, kathymcleland.com. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you're interested. Supportive Oracle cards, a deck I really enjoy. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. This one is rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A as in apple, U as an umbrella. And I use dice. The dice I use are standard, well, not really standard, but like they're number dice. I got a 1 through 22 for the major arcana. I substitute 22 for 0 for the Fool, and then I have a 1 through 14 for the minor arcana, and then I have a 4-sided dice to choose the element that's going to match up with that. They are from, I think it says mathartfun.com. I can't read it on the camera, but hopefully you can see it if you want to see where to get those dice. Check stuff out. Feel free. Alright. Of course, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, same email. The information for that is below. And now, let's go on to your reading. Hello, Libra. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Libra? Okay, before we go too far, let's get it all down here. Okay. Some type of communication needs to happen. Some type of written communication needs to happen. All right. I don't want to jump ahead too far. Okay. So, written communication. Okay. So that's the strongest thing. Something about written communication, which could be a text. So when I say written communication, it could be computer, otherwise, something like that. Something that you can look back on and be like, yep, I said that. Stopping something? Ace of fire reversed, Ace of Wands. So it's like, that's the lack of movement. And the Strength card, half in, half out. I feel like I have to slow somebody down. I have to stop somebody. I have to get somebody to... I feel like I have to get somebody to stop doing something. And I feel like I'm doing this, like, at a distance. I don't think I'm doing this face-to-face. I want somebody to kind of, like, go a different direction. I need them to go a different direction. This is somebody who I feel like you do like. Somebody who, whoever this is, I feel like this is somebody who, they do, like, when they have something to say, they say it, but I feel like they also let it go. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't say they were the easiest person to deal with, but it's kind of like they don't drive it to the bitter end. They let it go. They're also that person that can let it go. So when they have to say what they have to say, they feel like they say it in the moment. So like if there's a conflict with this person, I feel like it's usually short-lived, if that makes sense. I don't know why that's so important, but it feels like it is. Even though this is the King of Cups, it's not the normal energy I get with the King of Cups. But communication flies, like I'm seeing these flying fish here. Like, they communicate quite well. If they have something to say, they say it, but I feel like they don't dwell on it, which is really not the normal energy for King of Cups, but okay. I feel like this energy kind of works for you. They tell you the truth. I don't know if it's their personal relationship with you or if they're like this naturally, but if they have something they need to vent out, they let you know what it is, and I don't see them dwelling on it. I don't feel like they hold that energy. I think it's blowing me away because that's not normally how I interpret this card, but that's what I'm getting from it. So we're going to go roll with that. I feel like this is very compatible for you. We're avoiding a problem. You're communicating what you need to communicate. We're avoiding a problem. I don't think this person knows what's going on in the situation. I don't think I want to let them know. Not in a bad way, but just kind of like, something's going on here. And I'm just kind of like, I don't think we need to get into the details. I just need to get them to go a different direction. And if I can get them to go that different direction without bringing that in, I feel like that's best for everybody. We don't need to bring in all the details. And you definitely have good reasons for this. It's kind of like we could bring forward that truth, but I don't think that's gonna improve the situation. I feel like people might get caught up on some details that they don't like, and that could actually get people to hold on stronger to things they don't need to. So I feel like I'm keeping an air of mystery around this situation, but there's good intention behind it. It seems to make better sense here. It feels like people get along better if we just keep certain things quiet. Not everybody needs to know these details, whatever that is. And there's a reason you're doing what you're doing. If this is hitting, you know what those reasons are, and you're trying to avoid a tower moment. Well, the tower did show up upside down. You're trying to avoid a tower moment, kind of like we don't need to do that. This doesn't have to be like that. And again, I feel like that's why maybe we're doing written communication, or probably nowadays text or email, could be something like that. One of the reasons I feel like you might be doing that is, one, you can look at what you're saying and be sure, like, okay, I think this will go well. But also you can look back at the conversation and go, okay, this is what I told them. All right, so I'm keeping this certain thing out of there. I didn't even mention that, so I got to make sure I continue to not mention that. It feels very strategic so that people don't have problems that don't need to have problems. I don't know, it feels very complicated to me, but I feel like if this is hitting, you know what you're doing, and that's fine. I feel like there's two reasons, again, to make sure I'm careful about what I say, and I'm like saying what I really want to say, and I'm looking at it like, well, I'm going to need to give that piece here anyway, so I might as well give it now, because that's going to create more questions. So if I just put it here in the beginning, we won't have questions later. And also, again, like I'm trying to keep some information away from them, because I'm like, I don't think they need to know that, and it's going to make problems. I'm not saying anything's right or wrong, but I keep feeling this diplomatic connection to it. Like, I'm trying to keep everybody getting along. I want everybody to continue to get along. I don't know, I keep seeing, for some of you, this easily could be a family dynamic. For some of you, it's a different social structure, maybe work. But it's kind of like, I know certain people don't get along. And it's almost like, it seems like some of this is petty, in the sense of like, you know, there's a group of 5 people, and 2 of them really don't get along. But like, you know, if the thumb and pinky don't get along, but if the pinky and the first finger go to lunch, and the thumb finds out about it, all of a sudden the thumb's bent out of shape. Even though it had nothing to do with the thumb is like, why are you hanging out with the pinky? It's something, it seems like there might be some petty things like that going on, and it's kind of like, they don't even know, they don't need to know that. I'm not going to bring that up. It could be like you were at that lunch with the first finger and the pinky, and that's where you learned what you needed to learn. The thumb wasn't there. And you just like, I don't want to mention that I was at that lunch with the pinky and the first finger, because the thumb is going to get bent out of shape about it. So I'm making sure I don't bring that into the equation at all. I'm trying to keep that out of the situation. They don't need to know that. I feel like they're going to get bent out of shape, or they're going to be like, well, why was I not included in that? How come you guys didn't invite me? Something like that. It does feel like there could be a petty energy in there. I don't know why I'm going to put that. Petty causes problems. We know that, right? Do we know that? You got to be careful with petty. When people get petty, petty causes problems. I feel like people get in these circles of having problems. When you participate in the land of petty, you have a lot of problems that just keep, like, all of a sudden you get into this really deep bog of like ridiculous problems, and people don't realize that that's what petty perpetuates. I don't know why we're going into that. I feel like you're trying to like pull the petty out. Like, we don't need to do this petty thing. If we just shut down the petty, we don't let the petty happen, we don't have to deal with all this ridiculous stuff. We don't have to deal with people getting upset. If we just take the petty out, we need to take the petty out. Petty perpetuates problems. I just keep getting that. It just keeps problems going. It's like it like keeps that wheel spinning. Sometimes gets it spinning faster. I'm just saying, everybody's got to make their own choices, but like, petty has its consequences. When people play petty, they have their consequences. I'm sorry, but they do. It's never just like one and done. It's a cycle. Just saying. I do think you're going to be successful with this. There could be something with romantic entanglements in this too, just to be fair. But another meaning of the Lover's card is successfully passing the test. So I'm getting that this will work. This will get things to work out. This works for this situation. By not sharing certain information, you are taking the petty out of it in some places. So I don't think it's bad. You're getting something to move on. You're kind of moving on from an energy, creating a better future. We don't need to give every piece of everything that happened here. Seems fine. It also seems like people are getting along. This was the better decision. It does seem like this was the better decision. I do feel like this is a good thing. I don't know. Alright, so I'll be honest with you. I have some Aries placements. And usually I'm not a big fan about holding information back. But the way this is playing out in front of me, the way I'm seeing it, I'm just like, there doesn't need to be these problems. We don't need to have these issues. So if we just kind of like just share what needs to be shared and just leave the rest to the side, people get along better. Because people are who people are. Okay. So, okay. This next part, this is interesting. Because this is kind of, again, because I'm going to be honest with you, I have some Aries placements. Usually Aries just throws it right out there, like you don't like it too bad. This is the truth, deal with it. Libra's a little different. Libra plays things a little better in certain cases. I say better depending on the situation. Sometimes it's better just to rip off that Band-Aid, like it hurts, but yeah, let's just get over it. Other times it's like, let's be a little bit nicer. It depends on the situation. So, like, not every situation's the same. In this situation, it's better the way you're handling it. I don't know why we're going there, especially because I have Aries placements, and I feel very, like, hypocritical that I'm saying this, because this is not how I roll. I'm like, okay, but I'm feeling the energy. They're saying this is the better way to do this one. Okay. Also, fair warning, when this energy shows up, there's random energy. Okay, the truth is going to come forward about what happened. This, as long as you know it's coming, you'll be fine. Holding certain information back at certain times, good idea. But they're also like, but the truth will come forward, be aware of that. You can plan for that. If you know at some point it will come forward, you'll be fine. There's going to be a little bit of discord with that. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but I get like, somebody's going to spill the beans. Long story short, somebody will spill the beans. It will come out. Literally could be you, just not, I don't know why, but I get like, also it could be you that spills the beans and just like, oh crap, I said that. Like, could be. What they're saying at that moment, do not avoid it. This will not get you where you want to be. Okay? Do not avoid it. What they're saying to do is then, you know how to say things. You know how to say things, and you can be like, all right, listen. I was at lunch with Pinky and First Finger. I was there. You tend to get upset about that. I didn't think that was necessary, but I wanted you to have the benefit of the information. So I didn't want to get in the middle of a problem, but I wanted you to benefit from the information. So I made sure you got the information. And that's why I said it the way I said it. That's why I didn't tell you certain details of this, because I wanted you to have the benefit of it, but I didn't want to be in the middle of the problem. And it seems like a lot of times it causes a problem. So this is why I said what I said. This is why I handled it the way I handled it. Because you're very good at being diplomatic. I feel like whoever this person is that you're trying to, like, just tell them what they need to know, I feel like by going towards them and kind of like, when you spill the beans or somebody has spilled the beans and you just like go towards them and you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to start the conversation. When you start the conversation, you have control of the conversation. It flows a lot easier. It's not that bad. And you're just kind of like, well, you know what, this is what I did and this is why I did it that way. I feel like they're going to get it. I feel like they understand, especially when you let them know. The reason I even told you that is because I wanted you to have the advantages of it. But I didn't think I deserved the drawbacks for helping you get the advantages. I feel like when you put it in that context, in whatever way you need to say it, I feel like it smooths it out very easily. And I feel like we move on from it and it's not a problem. are there going to be problems afterwards? No, there's not problems afterwards. But there's more here going on. Other people's problems, they need to solve their own problems. So, also by you going forward and saying, you know what, this is why I said it the way I said it, I feel like people are addressing like, all right, okay, other people don't want to be in the middle of this, and other people are trying to help me without being in the middle of the ridiculousness. Okay. It's like, I feel like people are like, okay, I get it. They need to work out their own things. Don't get in the middle of that. If Thumb and Pinky are not getting along, Thumb and Pinky need to work that out on their own. Don't get in the middle of that. Because I'm getting like, it might be one of those, I don't know what's going on there. It feels like a love-hate relationship. I don't know what to say. Because I feel like, again, if we're saying Thumb Pinky, like they just don't seem to get along. I feel like sometimes they get along really well, and sometimes they're just at complete odds. That's a them problem. I don't think it's solvable, by the way. You could analytically try to work it out so that it looks on paper like they should be fine, and they won't be, because there's undertones. There's undertones, and there's things going on here that people just don't know about. Who knows? Thumb and Pinky might have had an affair years ago, and they're just keeping it a secret, but this might be a source of animosity that they just don't share with everybody. You know, there's secrets. There's some dirt there that they just don't share. So if you don't have any idea about it, there's nothing you can do about it anyway. I feel like by just kind of like giving your piece, saying why you did what you did, stepping out of it, they're going to do what they're going to do. It's up to them to fix their own problems. Just work around it. Don't try to fix it. Because I feel like it's just one of those things where, again, on paper it looks like, okay, this should work now. We should be fine. And then you're like, what the hell happened? Because it's not. They're just saying, work around it. Let them work on their own problem. I feel like you'll get used to this, by the way. Whatever the situation is, it does seem to perpetuate in your life. Or it's going to, at least. So if it's new, it's going to stay. Otherwise, it's been here for a while and it's just going to keep perpetuating. Just, try to stay on the outskirts. Keep handling it the way you handled this situation. And if people find out that you're not telling them how you got the information, just remind them, I don't want to be in the middle of that problem. I want you to have the advantages. I just don't want to be a part of the problem. And that's why. And you, Thumb and Pinky, tend to not get along, and I never know when it's going to happen. I try to help you both out. I like you both. I'm not going to choose between the two of you. I like you both. Your problems are your problems, but I don't want you guys to miss out on opportunities because the two of you don't get along. I'm not getting in the middle of it. And I feel like people get more and more used to you handling it that way. And I do feel, ironically, that people start to respect that more. Take it with a grain of salt. Sometimes people just want to be difficult. So it should be fine. As this keeps going forward, you might realize somebody is more of a problem starter than you really would like to see. That might also show up over time. The more you handle it this way, it might be more apparent, more and more apparent, that maybe, for example, if it's two people not getting along, one person is more the cause of that than the other. One person is constantly trying to create drama for some reason. Sometimes people are attention seekers. I was going to use a different word that starts with a W. Sometimes people are attention seekers and they cause problems just to get attention, and that might be actually happening here. One of these people wants attention from the other, and the way they do it is in negative ways. And you might see that more and more. That might be more and more apparent as the time goes forward, and then what you need to do with that is what you need to do with that. So I feel like once you see that, it's kind of like, I kind of feel like, once I see it, I'm like, I don't like that. Like, I feel like you're going to be like, I don't like that. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but we got to get down that road first. You have to see it for what it is first. All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.